privilege and the responsibility of naming their children. Some parents find this very easy. You had names picked out from long ago, and you were just waiting to have children to give those names to them. And then some parents struggle not knowing what their children, and through the 9 months of the pregnancy, they're poring over baby name books, trying to come up with the name. My parents, they had it all figured out. They had the name picked out for me, except they just assumed I was going to be a girl. So they had the name Lynn Marie picked out for me. And for some reason, I don't know why, this was before the technology was there, you know, the ultrasound technology to know with the sex of the child. So they just assumed. I guess it was wishful thinking on their part. But then I came along and disappointed them, I guess. And what was surprising to me to find this out was that they didn't even bother to have a backup boy's name, you know, just in case their wishful thinking for a girl didn't pan out. So there it was. My name was going to be Lynn Marie. But then I was born, and then they realized that the name they had picked for me would have been wildly inappropriate. So they had to go back to the drawing board and come up with a name. At this point, I was born. So I was nameless for the first few hours of my short life until I was finally named David Paul. Joseph and Mary did not have that burden when Jesus was born. They knew they were having a boy. It wasn't just a wishful thinking. They knew they were going to have a boy. And they also knew what they were going to name him. They were going to name him Jesus. But the question for us is, and what's important for us to understand is, who named the baby? Who named Jesus? It wasn't his parents. That wasn't the name they came up with. That's the name that the angel told Joseph when the angel announced to Joseph that Mary was going to be with child. No human, no parent named Jesus. You see, when you name something, it shows you have authority over it. That's why parents have that privilege and that responsibility of naming their children. When you have a pet, you're the owner. You have authority over that pet, and you name the pet. In the garden, Adam had all the animals were given to him. God brought him all the animals, and Adam named the animals because he had the authority to do that. See, no human has authority over Jesus. No human is going to name Jesus. And so what we see in the naming of Jesus is that he is in fact God. He has authority over us. This baby in a manger has authority over us. And his name also tells us something about his purpose, what he came to do. Parents all have all sorts of reasons for naming their children. Some give names that are handed down from the family. Some are names that they just like them. They just like the name. They like the sound of it. And sometimes they're given names because of the meaning of the name. It's an important meaning. Jesus, his name means something. And in his name, we know something about what he came to do. Jesus' name means Yahweh saves. The God of Israel, Yahweh saves. In his name, we hear the gospel. We see in the naming of Jesus that he is God. And in his name, we see that he is God come to save us. God who has authority over humanity comes into the world in the person of Jesus Christ, and he uses his authority to save us sinners. Now, if you go to the Old Testament, you will learn that there are other names for Jesus, also revealed to the prophet Isaiah from God. And Isaiah says in chapter 9, verse 6, For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Each one of these names tell us something about the person and the purpose of Jesus Christ, who he is and what he came to do. And this morning, our children are going to tell you about these names revealed in Isaiah chapter 9. And they've been working hard to prepare. They've been rehearsing. Children, are you ready to tell us about Jesus this morning? All right, well, let's get started.